Is Dimitri too white to drink Coca-Cola? Is Dimitri too white? I never used to think like this, but now I'm not so sure. You see, Coca-Cola has a new policy for employees, training on how to make them less white to combat racism. Well, if that's the case for their employees, I wonder if that's also the case for their customers. I might be too white to be a Coca-Cola customer. Yeah, well, from my cold, dead hands, Coca-Cola, from my cold, dead hands, we're going to be talking about that. And if Coca-Cola says I am too white to be a customer now because their employees are too white and they got to fight racism, how do you make Dimitri less white? I don't know. I don't know. I mean, this white stuff is like it's all over me. Ugh. So what I'm thinking is this, that on the show or the radio side, now this is the Facebook side right now, we're going to do a contest. And the caller who has the best suggestion how to make Dimitri less white, and in order for him to still remain a loyal customer of Coca-Cola, even though they spelled my name wrong, will win a great prize. Three Bridges Restaurant tacos, fantastic. So when the show starts on the radio side, the first good call that we get with a suggestion how to make Dimitri less white is going to win. It's just that simple. Phone number 740-520-4858. That's 740-520-4858. But first, we've got to make sure that we share this everywhere so we can get the word out about this. I've got a big breaking story, Belmont County, multi-million-dollar boondoggle. I've got the documents, I've got the drawings, I've got the contract, I've got the pictures. I've got it all. We'll be breaking that this morning. In fact, the entire Belmont Zone segment feature of 8:30 to 9 this morning is going to be dedicated to this one big breaking story. And we're titling the story, Running on Empty. It'll make you sick when you hear what these local government officials have done to you for the next 30 years. That's not an exaggeration. That's today, exclusive breaking news. Incredible show for you, plus wonderful guests. But first, we got to share this. So I'm going to go to 106.3 The River, the Facebook page. I'm going to scroll down until I find the stream of the show, which is what you're looking at right now. And then I'm going to, and in fact, here it is. So then I'm going to share this, click share, and write post. And it's essentially just my news feed. And I'm going to say, please share. And then click post. That's going to go ding like that. Want you to do the same on yours if you would, please. Now I'm going to share this with our Facebook group, Make the Valley Great Again. So I find a group, then Make the Valley Great Again. All right, here we are. And then I'm going to add, please share and post that. Again, want you to do this on your side as well. 1 minute until the radio side of the show starts, and I've got a chance to do one more, and that is to the other Facebook page for the other radio stations, the River Talk stations. So I will do that now, and please share and click post, and we're good to go. If you could please do this on your side, that would be just great. Appreciate it.
30 seconds.
Appreciate it greatly. Jake Owen, show producer. We're good to go here. Oh, we might have a surprise special guest for you phoning in, local radio celebrity. So we'll see if we can rouse her out of bed, because she said that she wanted to talk with you about something. So big mystery about that. That's coming up here. And so we're getting ready for the radio side. And okay, here we go. Incredible show for you today. Big breaking news. Belmont County, multi-million-dollar boondoggle. Local politicians have really screwed over the taxpayers, and the taxpayers are going to be having to pay for this for the next 30 years. That's right, 3 decades. We've got the documents, we've got the drawings, we've got the contract, we've got the pictures. All of that and so much more. Incredible guests, including Pat Mcgeehan, who a delegate, West Virginia. The legislature has decided to self-castrate itself again. We also have Chris Barron, who've seen him on the Fox News, Fox Business Network, as well as Fox News, of course, talking with us about what 45 is going to do next. Orangeman will be talking with him. Incredible prizes for you, and perhaps a surprise mystery guest. A local radio celebrity might be joining us as well. And the biggest question is, am I too white? Coca-Cola says I just might be. So if you know how to make Dimitri less white, you have a chance to win a great prize from Three Bridges Restaurant. Tacos, breakfast tacos for you. Incredible show for you today. If you want to know what's really going on, you keep it right here. 106.3 The River, River Talk 1430, 100.9 FM. And Alexa, open River Talk.
Here's your 106.3 The River's weather.
Skies will turn cloudy by this evening and temperatures warmer this afternoon. Highs into the upper 30s. Cloudy skies tonight with rain, snow arriving late. Lows nearing freezing. Cloudy skies for your Monday with a morning rain, snow continuing. Light snow accumulations are possible primarily in areas north of I-70. Highs in the upper 30s. Cloudy with an isolated snow shower Monday night. Low near 30. Cloudy with an isolated morning rain, snow shower Tuesday. High near 40. I'm Severe Weather Team 9 meteorologist Nathan Chudd.
Dimitri, live and dangerously local. 106.3 The River, River Talk 1430, 100.9 FM. Alexa, open River Talk. Incredible breaking news this morning. We've got the story. We'll be sharing that with you at 8:30, the Belmont Zone. The entire Belmont Zone feature, 1/2 hour dedicated to one story, and we're titling the story Running on Empty. Belmont boondoggle, multi-million-dollar boondoggle. Local politicians have screwed over the taxpayers for the next 30 years. That's right, 30 years. It'll make you sick. It'll make you infuriated, and you're going to get all that information this morning because we've got the story, we've got the documents. We'll be posting all of them on our Facebook page, the Facebook live stream, I should say, so all of our viewers could see them and read them for themselves. It's an unbelievable story. It really is. When my sources gave me this information and I reviewed the documents, my head was spinning. It's like, you've got to be kidding me. They can't be this stupid, or they can't be this corrupt. Well, they're probably one or the other, or maybe they're just that dumb. But you're the one who's going to pay for it for the next 30 years. Yeah, 30 years. But first, Coca-Cola there's this breaking news. Coca-Cola has a new training policy about how to be less white to combat racism. So if you're a Coca-Cola employee and you happen to be of the white persuasion, you're going to have to take this training on how to be less white to combat racism. You think I'm making this up? I am not. This is actually for real. So what I was thinking is maybe Coca-Cola should have a new advertising campaign, like that new Coke policy, like where they have our names on the different bottles, like Dimitri. I'm actually holding one right now that says Dimitri, except they misspelled my name. But maybe change that to be less white. And so the policy essentially is this. To be less white, you have to be less oppressive, less arrogant, less defensive, less ignorant. You also have to be more humble, although it's hard to imagine me being any more humble. I know it's hard for me to imagine that. Also, you have to listen and believe. You have to break with apathy and break with white solidarity. I don't even know what that means, but whatever. So there's that. Again, this is Coca-Cola policy here. This is their training policy. They want to be confronting racism, understanding what it means to be white, challenging what it means to be racist. And in the US and other Western nations, white people are socialized to feel that they are inherently superior because they are white. Research shows that by age 3 or 4, children understand that it is better to be white. Wow. Wow. So it got me thinking, if that applies to Coca-Cola employees, that maybe they're too white, that might also apply to Coca-Cola customers, that Coca-Cola thinks maybe they're too white as well, and that would include me. So I thought to myself, what can I do to be less white? Because I've got this white stuff all over my skin, and like it's all over me. It's unbelievable. And if I want to keep buying Coca-Cola products, and Coca-Cola is now thinking, well, maybe Dimitri's a little too white. Yes, he's of Greek heritage, that's still white. Then what do I do about this? And so, Jake, my show producer, Jake, we were kicking around this idea. Any idea what I could do, Jake, to be less? Oh, my God, you're white too. Any idea what we could do? Huh?
What? I'm white too.
Yeah, well, you are. I hate to break the news to you, but yeah, it's. I'm doing an intervention. I wasn't even aware of this, and white solidarity. I had no idea what that was. Do white people have like a secret handshake or something like that? Or I don't know either. I don't know. Anyway,
I'm not a part of that exclusive club.
So here's the thing. What I'm going to do now, and frankly, I don't know if anybody could even help me be less white, because I think I'm pretty white, but I need to be less white. I need some good suggestions. And what I'm going to do is to offer you a prize for the best suggestion to make Dimitri less white. If you are the first caller with a good suggestion to make Dimitri less white, you will win, and win big. A very nice prize. It's from Three Bridges Restaurant. And let's see here. That would be Laurie and Aaron. It is a gift certificate for 6, that's right, 6 breakfast tacos, 3 ingredients each, from Three Bridges Restaurant, 750 Main Street in Fallensby. Laurie and Aaron they have a fantastic little restaurant. You will love it greatly. So here's what I need. And again, I don't know that anybody is going to respond, and it's got to be a phone call. It's got to be a phone call, not the comments. And I appreciate the comments, but it's got to be a phone call. Here's the phone number for you to win, and win big. But it's got to be a good suggestion. How do you make Dimitri less white? Phone number 740-520-4858. That's 740-520-4858. The Make Dimitri Less White hotline. 740-520-4858. The best suggestion wins this great prize. 6 breakfast tacos from it's a great restaurant. Three Bridges Restaurant in Fallensby. So call now. And I know I know this is not going to be easy. Coming up with a suggestion to make me less white. But if you can come up with one, and we were debating, Jake and I were debating, will anybody respond to this? Because a lot of our listeners, let's face it, are partying Saturday nights. They're probably sleeping it off right now, and they'll probably catch the show or the Facebook live stream, the video of it later on the Facebook page of this great radio station, 106.3 The River. But this is also live radio, real, raw radio. And I don't know if anybody's going to call in with a great suggestion, but if you do, you're the first one, and it's a really great suggestion, how to make Dimitri less white, you win, and win big. Again, the phone number is 740-520-4858. That's 740-520-4858. Anything. I'm reaching out to you. I'm bearing my soul. I know I'm very white, even though my heritage is Greek, but I don't know how to change this. And if I'm going to keep drinking Coca-Cola products, I guess I better, because if they say their employees now are too white and they've got to lose their whiteness and be more sensitive, more woke, if you will, I guess customers are next. Yes, Jake.
I can't wrap my head around just why. Why is this thing?
Well, it's because of this politically correct subculture that has taken over the choke points of much of our organizations, much of our institutions. There are a lot of sick people who have gotten in charge in important points, and they all want to be politically correct. They all want the media to fawn over them. It's absolutely disgusting. So that's why the employees now have to go through this policy to be less white. This is not a goof. This is for real. To be less white, be less oppressive, be less arrogant. Could I possibly be less arrogant, Jake? Say no. Say no. Say no.
No, I guess.
No, don't whisper it. Just follow my lead. Just say no in a regular voice. No. Oh, Lord. If I had a large wooden mallet right now. All right. Let's see. Be less humble. I got to break with apathy and break with white solidarity. I guess we're getting some calls, so we could just get the first name and where the person's calling from. The Help Dimitri to Be Less White hotline is 740-520-4858. That's 740-520-4858. If you've won anything in the last 30 days here, You cannot. You can call, but you cannot win the prize because that's our. We want to make sure everybody gets a fair shot of winning. Confronting racism, understanding what it means to be white, challenging what it means to be racist. This is all Coca-Cola. This is all Coca-Cola. In the U.S. and other Western nations, white people are socialized to feel they're inherently superior because they're white. Research shows that by age 3 or 4, children understand it's better to be white. I barely understood how to be potty trained at that age. But hey, whatever, Coca-Cola. But yeah, this is actually a thing, and I'm very concerned here about this. Yes,
We got a
Jake.
caller, Dimitri.
All right, who is that, please, Jake?
His name is Ernie.
Ernie. All right, and this is the call-in queue. Is that what I have to
Correct.
click? Okay, so let me get the call-in queue. All right, and let's see here. Okay.
You clicked the wrong caller on.
Oh no! Did I really? Okay, you got to put the names. You got to give me the names. All right. So which one is the right one? I've screwed up already. Okay, with 304. That one. All right. Hold on a second. Okay, you got to put the names up. It'll make it easier for me because this system is not ideal. All right, Ernie, welcome to Dimitri Live and Dangerously Local. How are you, sir?
Dimitri, I'm doing just fine.
Excellent, great. I'm concerned that I'm too white for Coca-Cola. Do you have any good suggestions how to make Dimitri less white? If Dimitri is referring to himself in third person, which apparently he is right now.
I believe maybe you need to change your style of clothing.
How?
This is Jake.
Maybe some more colorful clothes, and maybe either not wear a belt or loosen up your pants so that they kind of hang down a little bit.
Oh, so people could see my butt crack. Oh, that's not a bad suggestion. That's not a bad suggestion. Yeah, I'm fairly colorful. I mean, I've got a burgundy mock turtle thing on, and I've got a black jacket, which I thought was less whitish. But anyway, well, thank you very much, Ernie. I appreciate it greatly. Thank you so much. So if you can do better than that, then fine, let me know. Dimitri is too white, according to Coca-Cola. And so start calling now. Okay, very quickly we'll do that. Then we'll take that short break.
Good.
All right, so which number is this? The 740?
Yep, it's Ed.
Okay. Oh, there's Ed. All right, fine. So let's get to Ed. Welcome, Ed, to Dimitri Live and Dangerously Local. You've called the Dimitri's Too White hotline. What is your suggestion to make me less white, Ed?
Stop saying that we need a cracker plant to bring all of us out of abject poverty, cracker. Besides, they'll have less pop bottles to call.
Okay, let's do. And it seemed like such a good idea when I first came up with this. And it really did. Okay, look, we need to take a short break here, and then we might be getting a special surprise guest joining us, a radio celebrity joining us this morning. But I'm going to continue with this till 7:30. If you can think of a really good suggestion to make Dimitri less white in honor of Coca-Cola's new policy about making their employees less white and fighting racism, then give me a call. The Make Dimitri Less White hotline is 740-520-4858. That's 740-520-4858. You're playing for a great gift certificate, 6 breakfast tacos, 3 ingredients each from Three Bridges Restaurant, 750 Main Street, Follansbee. They're fantastic. Lori and Aaron are it's a great restaurant. It really is. Everything from scratch. These people do everything from scratch. All right, call in. I can't get this white stuff off of my skin. So any other suggestions? Make Dimitri less white. Showing my butt crack is not, it's Sunday morning, for God's sake. I mean, come on, let's step it up a little bit. If you want to know what's really going on, you keep it right here. 106.3 The River, River Talk 1430, 100.9 FM, and Alexa, open River Talk.
Clear.
Okay, so the suggestions were okay, but we need to raise the bar. We need to elevate our game. We need better suggestions. Is what we need to make it worthy for. I want you to be worthy of this prize. I don't give away participation trophies. I don't do that. You got to earn it on this show. And the last 2 callers were fine. I appreciate their calls. I really, truly do. but I think we can do better, and maybe that's where you come in.
Right. And what's your
So
name?
call, but it's got to be a really good suggestion. How do you make Dimitri
Right.
less
Jeff, I'm gonna
white?
put you on
Because Dimitri
cue here,
is
and
concerned
once
that he
this
may
is
not be,
broadcast,
he might be
we're
too
on.
white to remain a Coca-Cola customer. And I think you might feel the same way if you are of the white persuasion, as obviously I am. Oh, we've got a lot of comments as well. Let's see here. Don't forget, you got to call you-know-who to see if she's awake and then wants to do anything about this. So let's see here. Let's see, Thomas, okay, watching and listening. Thank you. Jamie, good morning, good morning. Cy, oh, that is great. I don't know what the YouTube thing is there. Let's go to James. Brown shoe polish should take care of it. I don't know about that. For your Coca-Cola dilemma, okay, I can't get to that YouTube link. I'm doing a show right now. But let's see here. We've got JK, tanning bed. Okay, great. I could get skin cancer. That's a lovely idea. Thank you very much for that. So, yeah, we've got all that going on. And I think this would be a great new policy.
Hi, this is Jake Schroeder,
marketing.
Dimitri Live and Dangerously Local. Can I speak to Cindy, please?
Be less white in honor of them adding all the names here, although they misspelled my name.
All right, Cindy, we're about to come back from break here. I'm going to let you be on hold for a second.
And looks like we've got that radio celebrity joining us for another big announcement. Don't forget, at 8:30, I'll be making the big announcement, big breaking news. I'll be sharing it with you about this multi-million-dollar Belmont Boondoggle. Okay, we're coming back with no, not Thaker. No. Serena, absolutely, yeah. Rich Thaker's great. He's taking a little rest here from this. So we'll be coming back with Serena with our live personal endorsement. Let me put her slide up here right now. And let's see, let me get the stuff here ready. And I'm surprised. I really thought we'd have more people calling with great suggestions. 740-520-4858. How to make Dimitri less white. There we go. This is a paid commercial announcement, but no amount of money could get me to say this if I did not believe it. Serena Heckathorn is gold. She's gold. I mean, that's all there's to it. She is Health Markets Insurance Agency. Times are tough. Maybe you're out of work and need insurance, or your workplace offers an inferior plan. It's not quite as good as you need. Does that sound familiar? Anyway, so let Serena Heckathorn of Health Markets Insurance Agency do the legwork and find the best plan for your budget. Health insurance, dental insurance, vision insurance, cancer, heart attack coverage, individual or family plans. Are you properly covered for COVID-19? Huh? I don't know. But she can help answer those questions. Serena Heckathorn is your local Health Markets licensed insurance agent. Phone number 740-275-4922. That's 740-275-4922. And breaking news, Serena Heckathorn is moving to a new location, 4169 Sunset Boulevard, next to Kentucky Fried Chicken, or KFC, which means that you can get great health insurance and then have some fried chicken. Can't go wrong. Serena Heckathorn is gold.
Here's your 106.3 The River's weather.
Skies will turn cloudy by this evening and temperatures warmer this afternoon. Highs into the upper 30s. Cloudy skies tonight with rain, snow arriving late. Lows nearing freezing. Cloudy skies for your Monday with the morning rain, snow continuing. Light snow accumulations are possible primarily in areas north of I-70. Highs in the upper 30s. Cloudy with an isolated snow shower Monday night. Low near 30. Cloudy with an isolated morning rain, snow shower Tuesday. High near 40. I'm Severe Weather Team 9 meteorologist Nathan Schutt.
Dimitri, live and dangerously local. 106.3 The River, River Talk, 1430, 100.9 FM. Alexa, open River Talk, a Dimitri 2020 LLC program. Ladies and gentlemen, we are still accepting your suggestions for the really the best solution to make Dimitri less white in honor of Coca-Cola's new policy being racially sensitive and saying that white people need to be less white. They're actually training people, their employees. The best answer, the best suggestion to make Dimitri less white wins and wins big. This wonderful gift certificate from Three Bridges Restaurant, 750 Main Street, Follensby. But right now, breaking news, we have a very, very special guest joining us, a radio celebrity, legendary radio celebrity, Cindy Taylor. Welcome to 106.3 The River, Dimitri, live and dangerously local. How you doing there, Cindy?
Just fine. How are you?
Great, thank you. Great. Now, my people reached out. What?
Legendary makes me sound really old.
Well, no.
I am really old.
You're not old. You're lovely and you're full of life and everything else. I'm trying to give you a compliment. And already she's defensive. You can't win with this woman. You just can't win. Anyway, Cindy is on with Joey every Monday through Friday from 6 until 9 on 106.3 The River. And Cindy asked to join us this morning because there's another big announcement coming. So, Cindy, what exactly is going on? What can you tell our listeners?
Well, on Tuesday at around 7:45 in the morning, we are going to make a fun, good, excuse me.
Oh, Cindy, I don't believe this.
What happens when I have to get up so early?
Oh, yeah, it's my fault.
Anyway.
You're hacking up phlegm on my show. Cindy, come on, I've got standards here, woman. Jesus.
A little phlegm never hurts.
Oh, Lord, please.
But anyways, at 7:45 on Tuesday, we are going to make an announcement, and that announcement then, in return, will pay off for a local business. So, wanted to get on your show because you have so many followers, and just let everybody know to listen at Tuesday at 7:45 in the morning at 106.3 The River, and we'll make an announcement that will benefit a business, a local business.
And my sources tell me, and this, I'm not goofing, this is for real. My sources tell me it's a pretty gosh darn big deal. It isn't some piddly little, whatever. This is like a very serious big deal for any business that wants to get bigger and better and get more customers. Is that fair to say? I don't want to oversell this, but I'm understanding from my sources,
absolutely.
This is a very big deal.
Way bigger than anything that, say, you would have on your show.
Really?
Firing shots.
Boy, man, does she know how to bust balls or what? So anything else you'd like to add, Cindy, or do you think that's enough for one Sunday morning?
That's enough for me, yeah.
All right, fine.
Good.
Yeah, lovely. All right, Cindy Taylor.
What else you got going on today?
Well, if you were listening to the show, you would know. First, I'm too white, and we're trying to get listeners to give me some suggestions to be less white. We've got great guests. We've got Chris Barron. We've got Pat Mcgeehan. Big breaking news at 8:30 about a multi-million-dollar Belmont Boondoggle. I've got the documents. I've got the drawings. I've got the contract. I've got the pictures. It's an amazing story. So all that. So just keep listening, and that way you'll know. Or you could go back to sleep.
Why don't you dim the lights? Make your cameras not so bright.
I'd love to dim the lights, but the general manager here, when they were remodeling this brand new studio, forgot to put in dimmers. So I'm kind of stuck. If you know who that is that maybe could make a difference, that'd be a wonderful idea, Cindy. Look, I'd love to keep talking with you and listening to you hack up phlegm all morning, but I've got a show to do. But once again, it's Tuesday. At what time again, Tuesday morning, please?
7:45 a.m.
7:40.
The River.
Okay. If you have a business, 7:45 Tuesday morning, 106.3 The River. You got to listen to Cindy and Joey. A very big announcement, especially if you have a business. You're going to love this. You really are. And I wish you the very best. I truly do. All right, Cindy, thank you so much. And keep listening and share this everywhere, okay?
Okay, you too.
Thanks again. All right. Bye. Actually, she's a lovely person. She really
We
is.
have a caller now.
Okay.
His name is Jeff.
Jeff. All right.
Sorry, Jeff. We've had you on the line for.
Oh, that's okay. I mean, there are a lot of people who are trying to get in, so that's good. So, Jeff, welcome to 106.3 The River, Dimitri, live and dangerously local. How do you make Dimitri less white, Jeff?
Well, the solution to that is get a tanning bed.
A tanning bed. That would be, well, that would make me less white. But I think it's more that they're saying less white in my head as opposed to my skin. But I think you're almost there. So I appreciate it, Jeff. Truly, I do. Thank you. And I want to get a really great suggestion to make Dimitri less white, because we got this great prize. And so if you happen to be that person, give us a call. The Dimitri, Make Dimitri Less White hotline is 745-2048-58. That's 745-2048-58. We've got coming up next, we've got Chris Barron. For those who were listening last week, which is all, thousands and thousands of our listeners, we had an incident with Chris Barron. He was in the middle. You've seen him on the Fox Business Network. He's on with Kennedy. He's on all over the place. He's the head of Right Turn Strategies, co-founder of Go Proud, Go Proud, GOP group, and a great guy, just a great friend of the show. We're having this great interview, and right in the middle, he says he's got to take his dog to the vet. It's an emergency. The dogs are in a fight or something like that. We had to end the interview early. First time in my life that's ever happened. So we've got, hold on. So we have another, okay, then we got to get to our first guest here. All right. So who is Andy? Is it Andy?
Yep.
Okay. We'll go to Andy next. Andy, hi. You're on Dimitri Live and Dangerously Local. How do you make Dimitri less white, Andy?
Okay, Dimitri. Well, one, you start the show out with some Motown music. Okay?
Yeah.
And then across your studio floor, you put the Black Lives Matter insignia there on your studio floor.
Yeah.
And then you get some tapes of Hillary Clinton and Joe Biden when they speak to a black audience. And then you get an honorary membership to the NAACP. And one of your food prizes has got to be a bucket of chicken from Colonel Sanders or Popeye's chicken.
Popeyes, I would actually like. All right. I think we've got a winner here. Congratulations, Andy. That is great. You put a lot of thought into this. We raised the bar. You met it. Andy, where are you calling from?
Toronto, Ohio.
Toronto. Okay. Go Red Knights. Red Knights. That's what I meant to say. That's what I meant to say.
I'm from Toronto.
All right. Well, good for you. Good for you, Jake. All right, Andy, hold on a second. We got to get all your information so we can send you out this great prize. 3 Bridges Restaurant, 750 Main Street, Fallensby. A great place. Six breakfast tacos, 3 ingredients each. Andy, congratulations. Way to go, sir. Thanks again.
Oh, thank you very much, Dimitri. I appreciate it.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. All right. We'll get him back in queue, get all his information. Got to take a break now. All right. You came through for me. You came through. Good suggestions. I wanted the best one. And I think he outdid himself. I really do. Andy, thank you so very much. Well, in fact, make a note here right now. Andy, 1 minute. And D. All right, then you'll give me all that information. More great prizes coming up as well. Chris Barron coming up next. I love this guy in a manly, non-threatening sort of way. You will love him too, and hopefully he can control his dogs this time so we can actually have a real interview. If you want to know what's really going on from the all-too-white Dimitri, keep it right here. 106.3 The River, River Talk 1430, 100.9 FM. She was hacking up phlegm. Cindy Taylor was hacking up phlegm on my show. How unprofessional is that? She knows better than that. Hi, I'm Cindy Taylor. Oh, Jesus. And Alexa, open River Talk. Hacking up phlegm. Jesus Christ. Send a memo. Send a memo to management. Anyway, all right. So we got Chris Barron coming up next. Chris is a very cool guy, although sometimes he gives Kennedy the evil eye.
All right.
Right turn strategies. I just love that. I just love it. That's Chris Barron. There you go. He's a great guy. You're gonna like him a lot. You really are.
RENSORTH.
All right. And let's see. How about Laverne? Okay, he's got some thoughts. How about not focusing on something that can't change? Embrace it without disrespecting others.
And
if I embrace my whiteness, Coca-Cola will never let me drink its product again. I can't embrace my whiteness. That's a bad thing. I appreciate the thought. I really do. But that's not what Coca-Cola wants. It just doesn't. And let's see. Andy just made you more white. I didn't think that was possible to make me more white. But oh well. So I guess there's that. All right. Got Chris Barron coming up here shortly. As soon as we wrap that up, we'll get on with Chris. And let me give you a little sneak preview about Chris. He's a great guy, but he's got this strange fascination with dogs and hockey and to some extent Canada, especially the Winnipeg Jets. Go Jets, go. I don't get it. I don't get it at all. But he just loves his Huskies. Now, he had another dog as well, which was a wiener dog. And we'll ask what happened with that. I suspect the Huskies ate it, but you can never tell. And he loves his hockey. So he's all over the place playing hockey. And his number 48, which I'm guessing is a homage to Tyler Kennedy, but we will find out about that. So Chris Barron going to be joining us shortly. Can we need to get moving here with this?
Address, please, and thank you.
Got to get moving here with this. Okay, so let's see. There's Chris Barron. Don't forget the Belmont zone. We got a big breaking story. We've got the documents, we've got the drawings, we've got the contracts, we've got the pictures.
That's awesome.
Belmont Boondoggle, multi-million-dollar
All right. And just one more time,
screw up
can
by
you say your last name?
local politicians. They're just horrible stuff. The taxpayers are on the hook for this for the next 30 years, 3 decades.
Sounds
I am
good to
not
me.
exaggerating.
All right, Andy,
The next
you have a nice
30
day and congratulations.
years. And we've got it all.
All right.
And
good.
we'll be breaking the news at 8:30 this morning. Please share this. It's the hashtag that we're using is New Philly. That's the hashtag, New Philly. That's the only clue that I will give you. All right, so get him off. We need to get moving here with Chris here. We've got to get moving here. Chris, okay.
Tell me a whole story.
Okay, we don't need that. We don't need that. We just need the address and everything. We've got a guest. We've got it. You know, he's waiting for us, so we've got to get to him. I appreciate Andy. I really do, but we got to get it moving here. All right, so Chris Barron coming up next. I hope he doesn't give me the evil eye, but if he does, it won't matter because this is radio, and so I'm going to be fine. But we've got that coming up, and I'm going to find out, of course, what happened with his dogs from last week. So all that and more. We got Delegate Pat Mcgeehan coming up after the 8 o'clock news. The West Virginia Legislature decided to castrate itself to allow Governor Jim Injustice to continue to screw over people. It's just mind-boggling, absolutely mind-boggling. That'll be Pat Mcgeehan, who's a really great guy, so principled. He's just wonderful. He really is. And so we'll be talking with him about that. Of course he is. Of course he's ecstatic. Everybody's ecstatic talking with me. Let me get him up. How are we doing on time here?
We are in weather.
Clear Monday with morning rain, snow continuing.
Here.
Light snow accumulations are possible primarily in areas north of I-70. Highs in the upper 30s. Cloudy with an isolated snow shower Monday night. Low near 30. Cloudy with an isolated morning. Rain snow shower Tuesday. High near 40. I'm Severe Weather Team 9 meteorologist Nathan Chudd.
Dimitri live and dangerously local. 106.3 The River, River Talk, 1430, 100.9 FM. And Alexa, open River Talk. Well, ladies and gentlemen, live exclusive interview with the head of a great public relations firm, Right Turn Strategies. His name is Chris Barron, and we welcome him back to 106.3 The River. You've seen him on Kennedy, on the Fox Business Network. Sometimes he gives her the evil eye, but he's always a very good guy. So Chris Barron, welcome back to 106.3 The River. How you doing, sir?
I am fantastic, Dimitri. Glad to be on this beautiful Sunday.
All right. Now, we need an update. Last week, we were doing had a great discussion, and suddenly you said you have to rush to the veterinarian. It's an emergency. One of your dogs was involved in an incident with another dog or something or other. What exactly happened, and are the dogs okay?
The good news is the dogs are okay. The biggest of the Siberian Huskies attacked the miniature dachshund, and it was a fight over food, which is invariably the root of all problems among dogs comes down to stay away from my food.
Wait a minute. Magentic, is that the larger husky, the black and white one with the evil blue eyes?
Yes, Mcgeehan is the larger of the two. She was the one who mixed it up with the Augie, who is the miniature dachshund.
That is so unfair. Is Augie still alive, or did she eat it?
No, Augie is absolutely fine. She outweighs him by a vast amount, but what he lacks in size, he makes up for in fighting unfair during dog fights. He's not afraid to sink his teeth into somebody who is trying to mess with him. So while she got the better of him, he certainly put up a good fight.
Good
He's
Lord.
Perfectly fine now. Everyone is good. Cost me a full day and more money than I like to think about, but in the end, everyone was fine.
What it really cost you was invaluable airtime on my show. Let's get the priorities straight here, Chris Barron.
Absolutely.
All right, great.
That was the most important thing that I lost.
Well, of course, but you didn't mention it. Anyway, so Chris, it's great to have you back on. You're a big friend of the show. I'm a huge fan of yours. I just think you're You're one of the few guests that I have that is just great radio. Actually, I've got a number of great radio guests, but you're one of them. You really are. So you're in D.C. You understand what's going on there. Give us the latest. What is happening with former President Donald Trump?
Well, what we've seen is Trump has, he laid low for a few weeks during impeachment, and we get word this week that the president is going to speak next weekend at the close of CPAC, which is being held in Florida rather than D.C. because D.C. is now a military state and Florida is still part of the free U.S. And so what we're seeing is President Trump starting to elevate his political profile again, which of course means that we will see a new round of effort by Democrats to attempt to marginalize, silence, and bar the president from future political life.
All right. What are they going to do next? Will it involve the 14th Amendment? You're a lawyer in addition to everything else. Can they use the 14th Amendment to somehow stop this unstoppable force that is President Trump?
Legally, no, they can't. Will that stop them? No. I mean, look, the Democrats have shown that they're willing to disregard every constitutional norm that's been in place. So I expect that they will attempt to use the 14th Amendment. And let's be clear, two pieces about this. One, the 14th Amendment, the section they're talking about, Section 3, specifically enumerates the offices that they are referring to. It talks about senator or representative or an elector. It makes no mention of being president of the United States. So first and foremost, the Congress was clear in drafting the 14th Amendment about what offices that they intended it to apply to, and they specifically omitted the office of president or vice president. You can't make the argument that that is some sort of oversight, that somehow the drafters of the 14th Amendment enumerated all of these lower offices, but just forgot about president or vice president.
Right.
So on its very face, the 14th Amendment doesn't apply to the office of president. Secondly, they still had the president engaged in insurrection or rebellion or gave aid or comfort to enemies of the United States. That would require a criminal finding. The argument that is being made by Jamie Raskin, who's one of the House impeachment managers, is that this is actually not a judicial proceeding at all, and that this is a purely political one that would require a simple majority to bar the president from running again. If we were to accept Congressman Raskin's approach, it would mean that a simple majority could bar any candidate in the future for any reason whatsoever. Republicans win back the majorities in 2022, they could bar Joe Biden and Kamala Harris from running again under Congressman Raskin's version of the 14th Amendment. It's simply untenable and unquestionably flies in the face of the legislative intent of the 14th Amendment. It's truly an insane argument.
Well, they're all insane arguments, but is it possible that they would try to find the friendliest Obama-appointed, Obama-nominated federal judge in the friendliest liberal district in America to then bring those charges to somehow make it happen? Is that even doable? Chris Barron, president of Right Turn Strategies.
Yeah, is it possible that they could forum shop and find the craziest, most liberal, federal court judge who would rule in their favor? Sure, but this would make its way to the Supreme Court. And let's not forget that of all of the amazing legacies that President Trump left to America, one of the greatest is a 6-3 conservative majority on the Supreme Court.
Well, wait a minute. Your math.
I don't believe there's a single vote on the Supreme Court that would find that the president was engaged in insurrection or rebellion against the United States. I don't believe there's one vote on the Supreme Court for that.
All right, but your math is a little off. It's not a 6-3 conservative majority. It's a 5-4-1 slight majority. And, because of Chief Justice Roberts, God only knows what they have on him. I got to tell you. You're listening to a live exclusive interview with Chris Barron, Right Turn Strategies president. You've seen him on the Fox Business Network all the time with Kennedy and all over the place. You may have seen him also on Twitter, and I'm going to suggest that you follow him on Twitter. It's Chris, CHRIS, and then Barron, BARRON. And on Twitter, he is wearing his hockey jersey. He's playing hockey, and his one picture is with the two Huskies, including the one that tore apart poor Augie is Daxland, and no picture of Augie, which God only knows what's going on with that. But I do have to ask you one thing, Chris, before our short break, and that is this. Your hockey jersey, it's number 48. Is that a homage to Tyler Kennedy or what?
It is actually an homage to Tyler Kennedy.
Really?
Tyler Kennedy. Yeah, it absolutely is. I absolutely love TK. I always loved the way he played the game. 48 is definitely an homage to Tyler Kennedy.
I just pulled that out of my hat.
Look, there's not a lot of guys in the NHL who've worn the number 48.
Well, that's true. That's true. And I've got
this is absolutely, it's a random number to have. But I always loved the way Tyler Kennedy played. I thought he was a gritty guy. I loved his shoot first mentality. It's definitely an homage to Tyler Kennedy.
All right. I got to ask you very quickly about one of your tweets. Catherine Watson saw a bumper sticker that said, quote, "Make hockey violent again." And the dude behind the wheel was pretty much what you'd expect. And you replied, "I own a hat that says that." What is that? What is that all about? What?
I actually do. I played in a charity tournament in Hershey, Pennsylvania 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And Colton Orr, who's a former NHL player, played with the Maple Leafs for a long time and a couple other teams. Colton Orr also played in it. And afterwards, we were all hanging out at a bar in Hershey, and Colton Orr showed up in a hat that said, "Make hockey violent again." It looked just like one of the red MAGA hats, except it was black and said, "Make hockey violent again." And I asked, I was like, "You got to tell me where you got that, Colton." And I immediately went out and purchased my own.
Oh, that is wonderful. More with a very special guest, a great friend of the show, Chris Barron, president of Right Turn Strategies. If you are a politician and you're looking for a principled conservative who knows how to win elections, actually helps you win elections, this is the guy. Get in touch with him. You can follow him on Twitter. You can also follow him on Facebook. Now on Facebook, he goes by Christopher Barron, but look for the guy who has the hockey stick and two dogs, both Huskies and sadly no little wiener dog. More with a very special guest coming up in just a bit. If you want to know what's really going on, you keep it right here. 106.3 The River, River Talk 1430, 100.9 FM, and Alexa, open River Talk. Great. We've got a personal endorsement with Alex next, right?
Correct.
Okay, terrific. Alex is a great guy. He's just a great guy. So let's see here. Just bear with me here. Okay. Great. Let me give you a little picture of Eden. They had their 1 year anniversary. It's not a commercial yet. This is just explaining what you're going to be seeing here. And there they are. Alex is the guy on the right-hand side nearest the red diamond with that evil look in his eye. He's actually a very nice guy. Don't get him mad. And they're celebrating their 1 year anniversary with some of the great people who work there at Eden Family Restaurant, and I'll be talking about that. My wife absolutely loves their fries. She loses her mind over their fresh hand-cut fries. She just does. It's just great. So all of that. All right, good about that. Let's see here. Well, that was a great guess. Motown, Black Lives Matter, and Andy from Toronto was terrific. That's great. How we doing on time here, Jake?
A minute and a half.
Okay. Can you believe Cindy Taylor live on the air on all the stations that carry my show, hacking up phlegm? She knows better than that. She should have a cough button on her phone at home, for God's sake. But she's I'll bet you she doesn't do that on her show with Joey in the morning, weekday mornings. I've never heard it. No, it's a phlegm-free zone for her. But for here, oh, well, let me just. So this big announcement is Tuesday morning. It's 7:45, I think she said. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. If you've got a business, all kidding aside, if you have a business, and I know I've got a lot of business owners who listen to my show and also are Facebook friends. This is not a goof. This is for real. Listen to Cindy and Joey Tuesday morning, because they're going to have a very big announcement that could, if you are lucky, could really make a difference in your business. It's a really cool, good thing if you own a business. This is a paid commercial endorsement, but no amount of money could get me to say this if I did not believe in Alex Coogan, and I do. Although some days he makes it tough for me. But Alex Coogan, just kidding, is an owner of a great restaurant called Eden Family Restaurant. It is on 135 Virginia Street, Wheeling Island, and they just recently celebrated their 1-year anniversary. Also, they have the Devil's Den, but I'm not allowed to talk about that. In any event, I want you to go there. I was there a couple days ago, and I met Ernie, Jack, and Shirley. They said the reason they came down to try out Eden Family Restaurant is because, of course, me, because they heard me talk about it and said, raving about it. And also my wife raves about it with the hand-cut fries, my God. And so this is the place. And so I want you to go there. I want you to try it out, breakfast, lunch, or dinner. It's on 135 Virginia Street, Wheeling Island. 135 Virginia Street, Wheeling Island. Eden, as in the Garden of Eden, Eden Family Restaurant. Anything that you would want, including top shelf liquor, they've got it all. But it's unpretentious place, wonderful employees, wonderful servers, wonderful cooks and chefs and all. And they also have wonderful desserts. It is Eden Family Restaurant, 135 Virginia Street, Wheeling Island. Look for Alex and the other great men and women who work there. You cannot go wrong. Alex Coogan, he fixes things. That's just what he does.
Here's your 106.3 The River's weather.
Skies will turn cloudy by this evening and temperatures warmer this afternoon. Highs into the upper 30s. Cloudy skies tonight with rain, snow arriving late. Lows nearing freezing. Cloudy skies for your Monday with morning rain, snow continuing. Light snow accumulations are possible primarily in areas north of I-70. Highs in the upper 30s. Cloudy with an isolated snow shower Monday night. Low near 30. Cloudy with an isolated morning rain, snow shower Tuesday. High near 40. I'm Severe Weather Team 9 meteorologist Nathan Chudd.
Dimitri, live and dangerously local, 106.3 The River, River Talk, 1430, 100.9 FM. You can also hear the stream on the website of this great radio station, 1063theriver.com. And Alexa, open River Talk. You also can experience the full Dimitri by going to the Facebook page of this great radio station, which is 106.3 The River. You'll see our Facebook live stream, and I want you to share that every which way you can on your news feed, with your groups, so on your pages, including our special guest here, Chris Barron, the president of Right Turn Strategies. I'm sure that he thought to himself, I should be sharing this right now on my Facebook page, on Twitter, and everywhere else because he's a really good marketing guy. Isn't that right there, Chris?
Absolutely. And who doesn't want the full Dimitri experience?
Exactly. That's I keep asking that. Apparently, a lot of people don't, but what are you going to do? So, Chris Barron, next question. Bannon, who's kind of out there, had a really interesting idea, and I'm going to run this by you regarding what Trump could do, former President Trump could do next. He suggested that Trump could run for Congress when Republicans take over Congress in 2022. He replaces Nancy Pelosi as Speaker, and he can make life hell for Biden and Kamala Harris until 2024 when he runs again for president. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, do I enjoy the thought of that? Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
I mean, the idea.
Oh yeah.
Of Speaker Trump tormenting Biden and Kamala Harris in the same way that Pelosi tormented Trump. Absolutely. The idea is a wonderful one. Do I think it's realistic? Do I think that's what the president is going to do? I don't see it. I don't see President Trump being willing to take a demotion to simply being a member of Congress, who then, by the way, is, he is Speaker of the House for only as long as his Republican majority keeps him as Speaker. Look, we've already seen that I'm not sure even half of these Republicans in Congress can currently be trusted. I don't see that as the path forward for the president. I think at this point, the president's greatest power is in his ability to rally his base, and he should be going across the country and making the Republicans who voted for impeachment pay for defying the will of their own voters. He should be in Adam Kinzinger's backyard. He should be in Liz Cheney's backyard. He should be in the backyard of every single Republican in the House and Senate who voted to impeach or remove President Trump.
Will he?
I think he will. Yeah, I think he will. And I think, look, I think his speech at CPAC this coming up weekend is going to be a really pivotal moment for the president and for this movement. His aides have already said he's going to talk about the future of the Republican Party. And I hope he makes it clear that he's going to go out, district to district and remove the Republicans who have defied the will of their own voters. And at the end of the day, that's what this is about. People have tried to cast the Liz Cheney vote, the Adam Kinzinger vote, as somehow a vote of conscience. It's not a vote of conscience. What it was a middle finger to their own voters. President Trump carried Liz Cheney's district, which is the entire state of Wyoming, with 70% of the vote. Overwhelmingly, the voters of Wyoming want Liz Cheney to support the president. Instead, Liz Cheney said, I don't care what you think. Let them eat cake. I know better than you, and I'm going to do whatever I want. And the truth is, voters deserve to have a representative in Congress who represents them, not who dictates to them.
No question. Now, Chris, will you be at the, is it called GoPac? Is that what it's called? The conservative next week? CPAC, excuse me, CPAC. And that is what? Conservative Political Action Committee, CPAC?
Yeah.
Okay. Will you be there next week?
I will not be there in person. I will, like so many other millions of Americans, I will be watching on my television set to hear the president speak.
Oh, I was hoping that you'd be there and you could give us a live update or something, but okay, that's fine. So how dumb or in what degree of denial, might be a better way of saying this, are the rhinos in the Republican Party, starting with Nikki Haley and then Mitch McConnell?
Well, I mean, first off, Nikki Haley realizes how dumb she is. She does this interview with Politico, a left-wing rag, where she trashes the president, says she regrets ever having supported him, and that he has no future in the party. And then a week later, she's asking to go to Mar-a-Lago to kiss the president's ring, and Trump says, yeah, forget about it. It's not happening. I mean, again, these people hold themselves out as somehow these paragons of virtue. These establishment Republicans act like they're guided solely by doing what's right. And the fact is, the only thing they're guided by is their unbridled, desire to attain new levels of power. And Nikki Haley, she got backlash instantaneously. She realized she didn't start her campaign for president in 2024. She ended it with that Politico interview. And that's what every one of these establishment Republicans is going to find out. And that starts with people like Mitch McConnell. Mitch McConnell needs to understand, if Republicans are going to win the majority in the Senate back in 2022, it's not going to be so they can elect Mitch McConnell as Senate Majority Leader again. He has made that, by picking that fight with Trump, and let's be clear, by going to the floor of the Senate and lambasting President Trump, he asked for that fight. He desired that.
Okay,
fight.
question, Chris.
That is that he'll end up losing.
Chris, just one question, and then we got to wrap this up, and I'm going to give you the last word because that's what I always do. What was Mitch McConnell thinking? He votes against another impeachment or against conviction in the impeachment trial in the Senate, but then he goes and starts talking and trashing Trump on the floor. What was the thinking behind that? If you could wrap that up in 30 seconds or so we give you enough time to speak at the end.
Yeah, sure. I mean, what I think he thought was that this was the end of Trump as a political force. He vastly misread the tea leaves in the wake of the January 6th event and in the wake of the impeachment proceeding. I think he thought it was the final dagger he was delivering to the political future of Donald Trump. and it was an incredibly poor calculation, and one he is absolutely going to pay for.
No question. Chris, we're virtually out of time, but I always give my guests the last word. I want you to follow Chris on Twitter and look for the guy in the hockey outfit with the Tyler Kennedy homage and all the dogs. And then also on Facebook. On Facebook, it goes by Christopher Barron. Chris, you've got about a minute to speak directly to our listeners and all these great radio stations and our friends on Facebook. Say whatever it is you want. Tell them how to get in touch with you. I'm going to effectively hand you my microphone. Ladies and gentlemen, a great friend of the show, Chris Barron, my microphone is yours.
Thank you, Dimitri. And again, thank you so much for having me on this Sunday so I can make up for my shortened appearance last weekend after the dog attacks. What I would tell folks is that I think every conservative and every patriot in this country needs to be tuned in to their television sets next weekend to hear President Trump speak at CPAC in Orlando, Florida. I think it is going to be a seminal moment, not only for the Make America Great Again movement and for the America First policies, but it's a seminal moment for this country in general. I expect to hear President Trump lay out his vision for the future for the movement that he created. And I think it's going to be an incredible moment that everybody in this country needs to tune into and needs to listen to. And if the president calls for us to act, to support him, to follow through and making sure that his policies that were so successful in his 4 years in office are continued, we need to follow through on that.
Thank you.
Follow me on Twitter at Chris R. Barron. Thank you again, Dimitri.
Oh, Chris, you are the best. Thank you very much, sir. And we'll get you on again real soon. And good luck with that wiener dog. Chris Barron, folks, great friend of the show. Dimitri, 106.3, The River.
News this hour from...
Great. He's a great guy. I just love him. I really do. In a manly, non-threatening sort of way. But Chris Barron is he's just great. He's just great radio. Just great radio. All right. So great hockey player, too. Loves Tyler Kennedy. That's a Tyler Kennedy. This is probably the only time in your life you've seen a Tyler Kennedy homage. That's what you call a Tyler Kennedy homage. And that is Chris Barron, because that's just what he does. And this is just what he believes. Make hockey violent again. It's Chris Barron. What are you going to do? It's Chris Barron. All right, fine. We got other comments. We've got Pat Mcgeehan coming up next. This is going to be great. It's going to be infuriating, but it's also going to be great. West Virginia had the chance, the legislature had the chance to take back some of its power from Governor Jim Injustice, who's just arbitrarily shutting down the state. And the legislature decided to castrate itself and say, no, we don't want to do that. We'll just let him do whatever he wants. It's mind-boggling. It's absolutely mind-boggling. It really is. All right, let's see here. We've got some other comments. We've got Laverne changed the name from Republican, the new group, moral values, integrity. The Dems should be his party now. It's the second mode. Okay, fine. We've got Sam Clark. Thank you. Okay, fine. I'm not quite sure what that means. Chris Brown, Trumpster is former. Okay, well, fair enough. All right, great. Sam Clark. Here we go. Here's Sam Clark's thing. Popeye's chicken. Sensitive 50 stereotype fried chicken, watermelon type, and less white, and that is the winning. It's disappointing. I like Popeye's chicken. I do. Oh well, what are you gonna do? All right, so there's that, and let's see. Coming up next, we've got Pat Mcgeehan, another great friend of the show. You talk about a principled politician. There aren't too many of them. There's Dr. Ron Paul. There's Pat Mcgeehan, and there are a few others.
All right, thank you for being on the show, Pat.
Very few others. We're going to be talking about this vote. This Pat Mcgeehan's bill relating to the authority and obligations of the governor and legislature when to declare a state of preparedness and emergency. It should have been a no-brainer vote, but where the legislature would take back some of its own power, didn't do it. Pat Mcgeehan was losing his mind, and I lost mine as well. But this is one of the really, really, really good guys, principled to his core. It's just part of his DNA. And if you know anything about his backstory with his dad, you understand why I say it's part of his DNA. That's who this guy is. And I don't rave about politicians very much. There's Dr. Ron Paul. There's Pat Mcgeehan. There are a few others, very few, but he's one of them. He's the real deal.
Here's your 106.3 The River's weather.
Skies will turn cloudy by this evening and temperatures warmer this afternoon. Highs into the upper 30s. Cloudy skies tonight with rain, snow arriving late. Lows nearing freezing. Cloudy skies for your Monday with a morning rain, snow continuing. Light snow accumulations are possible primarily in areas north of I-70. Highs in the upper 30s. Cloudy with an isolated snow shower Monday night. Low near 30. Cloudy with an isolated morning rain, snow shower Tuesday. High near 40. I'm Severe Weather Team 9 meteorologist Nathan Chudd.
Dimitri, live and dangerously local, 106.3 The River, River Talk, 1430, 100.9 FM, and Alexa, open River Talk, and you can experience the full Dimitri by going to the Facebook page of this great radio station, 106.3 The River. See the Facebook live stream and share that if you would, please. You get to hear the show, you get to see the show. What is not to love? All right, our very special guest this hour is another great friend of the show, one of the few truly principled politicians that I've had the honor of meeting. He is Pat Mcgeehan. He is a member of the House of Delegates in West Virginia. He is a small government conservative who believes in minimal government and maximum personal freedom, and is trying to hold local government, state government, accountable. And he failed miserably this week, so we thought we'd get him on and talk with him about that. Pat Mcgeehan, welcome. How's that for an intro? Pat Mcgeehan, welcome to Dimitri Live and Dangerously Local, 106.3 The River. How you doing there, Pat?
I'm doing good, Dimitri. I appreciate announcing my failure.
well, but it's not. It's not actually.
You know, there's not many small government guys left, I guess.
No, there aren't. Tell me about this bill, which I supported 1,000%, and then we'll talk about the pathetic vote totals.
Well, I mean, the bill is pretty straightforward. The executive branch has, used some very extraordinary powers that I really don't believe anybody ever intended for them to have, in previous to this past year, this extraordinary year. And these extraordinary powers can be dangerous. And so the bill just limits the duration of a state of emergency, which is where all of these extraordinary powers are assumed from or declared from. So if you're under a state of emergency, the executive branch has now declared that they have the power to, say, order everybody to stay at home under threat of arrest, shut down businesses, lockdowns, the list goes on and on. So the bill will just at least limit that power by limiting the duration of a state of emergency to no more than 60 days without legislative approval for an extension. So it's effectively a check against the executive branch by the legislature. Because the legislature, has the power to make law, has the power to purse. Well, those constitutional powers have, in a way, been usurped by the executive branch because they're spending money out of the public treasury without legislative approval. And obviously, they're issuing all sorts of executive orders that have the force of law without the legislature. So at least let's limit the duration of that if we can't do away with it altogether. Well, the bill did pass, but unfortunately, it's really unclear right now whether it applies to the current state of emergency in West Virginia, which has been going on for 11 months. And my amendment would have rectified that. It made it clear that, yes, this limiting bill that we're passing to check the executive branch's extraordinary power they claim for themselves would apply to the current state of emergency, and therefore there would only be 60 days left unless we authorize an extension. Well, you would think the sky was falling when I offered the amendment because there was a fierce opposition to it. And
why?
A lot of the arguments against it was really strange. I mean, they were fairly unsound. They said, well, it already applies to the current state of emergency. Well, if that's the case, then it doesn't hurt to clarify it with this one sentence. So I have my own theories as to more than likely what the rationale was.
Well, what is it? What is the rationale?
Folks who opposed it in the legislature.
Is it because
Okay.
Governor Justice owns so many of these rhino Republicans? Is that the real issue? What is your theory on this?
I mean, I just think that there's a lot of people that are they want to take the path of least resistance, and they don't want their lives to get uncomfortable and have to have uncomfortable situations. So they would rather keep the bill ambiguous and be able to say they did something about the current state of affairs.
Yeah.
And be able to keep their seats at the country club warm at the same time. So
unbelievable. Let me ask you about a couple of these voters who turned this thing down, essentially supporting Governor Jim Injustice's dictatorial reign, which just is mind-boggling to me. One is Erica Storch, who is the head of the Wheeling Area Chamber of Commerce. She voted against this, even though so many members of the Wheeling Area Chamber of Commerce have been devastated because Governor Jim Injustice's edicts pretty much destroying business. How in God's name, of all the people on this earth, how could Erica Storch, again, the head of the Wheeling Area Chamber of Commerce, vote against this thing when she knows what Governor Jim Injustice has done to businesses? I don't understand this.
Yeah. I mean, it's disappointing. I'm not going to question anybody's motives. I'm not sure about why she voted the way she did. I happen to like Erica.
I like her too.
It's disappointing because it's pretty common sense. But I will just comment on the Chamber of Commerce in general, not specifically the Wheeling Chamber of Commerce, but in general, chambers of commerce, especially the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, the parent organization, they don't care about the small businesses, which are the most devastated by edicts and orders to shut down by the executive branch. Because their big members are the ones that pay the dues, and the big members typically can weather the storm. They have more capital at their disposal, and they're really not the ones that are affected. I mean, it's not like Walmart's being shut down.
Well,
everyone's going to Walmart.
Yeah, they've actually
business that gets shut down.
They've actually one of the horrible things here is that the big box stores, the big grocery stores, have actually profited from this. So no wonder they want the smaller mom and pop operations to be shut down. It's really unconscionable. By the way, there was one other, and maybe you could tell me, there is a...
You'll find a lot of times the U.S. Chamber of Commerce is the first organization that jumps in bed with the communists.
Yep.
So
yep.
I'll just put it that pretty bluntly.
No question. Now, I noticed one other name here that popped out that voted against this thing, Moore Capito. Is this person related to Shelley Moore Capito?
Yeah, that would be her son.
Jesus.
That's correct.
Does this whole rhino thing, is that part of the DNA in people?
I just don't know.
All right. Well, give that some thought.
Some people, I don't know. I mean, some people have, I don't know. I'd like to give them the benefit of the doubt, but the arguments were just so bad. It was almost like they had to make them up just to justify their conclusion of, or the desire for coziness.
One last question, Pat, in this first...
Less confrontation.
Yeah, one last question in this first segment here, Pat, and that is this. Why on earth would the legislature vote to essentially castrate itself, to give up its constitutional authority and allow the governor to continue doing all the crazy, insane things that Governor Jim Injustice is doing? Why would the West Virginia House of Delegates castrate itself in such a way?
Well, I mean, you gotta remember that people don't view themselves as part of a legislative branch or the executive branch anymore. A lot of this is just personal favors or personal threats And so that's involved to a certain extent. So, I mean, with your question as to why the legislative branch would castrate itself or vote to give itself less power, less checks on another branch, quite simply the makeup of that branch. And the makeup of that branch sometimes involves people who, prefer the current status quo of power, and they can benefit from immense political power in the form of favors in the future and things of that nature. So, I mean, it's just human nature, and that's exactly really why the bill's needed, to check that kind of immense political power that's now been concentrated into the executive branch, which is, really the branch most prone to wield political power, just by the virtue of its makeup.
Yeah, no question. More with our very special guest, Pat Mcgeehan, West Virginia House of Delegates member, principal to his core, trying to get the legislature to take back some of the power that Governor Jim Injustice has taken it upon himself. So more with Pat Mcgeehan, one of the really, truly good guys, in just a bit. Now, we're going to take a short break, but also we got another prize for you. So during this break, this is your chance to win and win big. This is for a $25 gift certificate to Envy Salon and Spa. Envy, E-N-V-Y, Salon and Spa. They're in St. C. They're on Main Street in St. Clairsville, so the quality has to be top notch. Because if you're trying to do business in St. Clairsville, if it isn't top quality, you're not going to make it. And this place is doing great. Full disclosure, I go there. I don't have much hair, but Christy does a great job with whatever strands are left. My wife has thick, wonderful hair, and she goes there. Gail does great work for her. This is a $25 gift certificate. Envy Salon and Spa, full service unisex salon, downtown St. C, which means top quality. They offer a range of services: hair color, cut, spa services, nails, makeup, eyelashes, facial waxing. I've never had my face waxed. I don't even know what that means, but it sounds kind of kinky. Anyway, friendly staff, and they are really friendly. Very welcoming, perfect combination. Phone number for them is 740-296-5520. Envy Salon and Spa, $25, hold on, I got it right here, $25 gift certificate. It is yours, and all you have to do is be the 10th caller. It is that gosh darn simple. Do it right now. Phone number to win, 740-520-4858. That's 740-520-4858. The 10th caller wins and wins big. Envy Salon and Spa, St. C, Main Street. It's quality, and your chance to win right now. We've opened the phone line, 740-520-4858. If you want to know what's really going on, you keep it right here. You probably didn't know about Erica Storch doing this, and the Wheeling Chamber of Commerce. This is unbelievable. Shame on Erica for this vote. I like Erica, I really do, but shame on her for this vote. Keep it right here. 106.3 The River, River Talk 1430, 100.9 FM, and Alexa, open River Talk. Great prize.
Clear.
Great prize. Envy Salon and Spa. Big announcement, big breaking news coming up in about 15 minutes. Belmont Boondoggle, multi-million-dollar. Taxpayers are going to be paying for this thing for the next 30 years, 3 decades. That is not an exaggeration. It is unbelievable. And the hashtag is New Philly. That's the clue as to what's coming up. It's really, really bad. It's really bad. My God, nobody's calling in. Nobody's calling in. Can you believe this? Can you check to make sure that the phone lines are clear? We got Pat Mcgeehan on hold. Okay, which means we got the lines. Lines are free. This is your chance to win and win big. Envy Salon and Spa, St. C, Main Street, full service. They've got it all. Gail is the best. You will not be disappointed. $25 gift certificate. You will love it, or your significant other will love it. 740-520-4858. That's 740-520-4858. 10th caller wins and wins big.
Might have to use it myself. Hair's getting a little long.
Oh yeah, unfortunately you can't, because you're an employee here, so you can't do that.
It's a little unfair.
Well, no, it's not. You're getting paid to work here. No, not much, but you're getting paid. So no, it doesn't. Not unfair.
A free haircut would be nice.
Well, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. I'm sorry. But this Envy Salon and Spa, they're
Hey,
great.
hey, we got a winner. It's Pat Mcgeehan.
No. So we'll go from there. Again, 745, 20, 48, 58. And go from there. All right. So we got Pat Mcgeehan. Then at 8:30, you got the special theme music for the Belmont Zone. It's going to be one topic from 8:30 to 9. And that's the big breaking story that we have. We've got the documents, we've got the drawings, we've got the contract, we've got the pictures. And we have, and it's titled, this breaking news story, we are titling it Running on Empty, a homage to Jackson Browne. But it's a really great title for this story that we have coming up. That's going to be the whole show from 8:30 to 9, just giving you all the information. It's a multi-million-dollar Belmont Boondoggle, and the taxpayers are going to be on the hook for this for 30 years. When you hear the details, you will lose your mind. You'll be sick and you'll be angry at the same time.
In the weather.
Okay.
Here's your 106.3 The River's weather.
Skies will turn cloudy by this evening and temperatures warmer this afternoon. Highs into the upper 30s. Cloudy skies tonight with rain, snow arriving late. Lows nearing freezing. Cloudy skies for your Monday with the morning rain, snow continuing. Light snow accumulations are possible primarily in areas north of I-70. Highs in the upper 30s. Cloudy with an isolated snow shower Monday night. Low near 30. Cloudy with an isolated morning rain, snow shower Tuesday. High near 40. I'm Severe Weather Team 9 meteorologist Nathan Chudd.
Dimitri, live and dangerously local. It's a Dimitri 2020 LLC program, 106.3 The River, River Talk 1430, 100.9 FM. And Alexa, open River Talk, and you can experience the full Dimitri by going to the Facebook page of this great radio station, 106.3 The River. You'll see our Facebook live stream until 9 o'clock this morning, and then it'll be video on demand. Just go to videos, and you can see the whole show, experience the whole thing. By the way, if you just joined us, we've got a great guest, Delegate Pat Mcgeehan, West Virginia House of Delegates. This vote is just driving me insane. But you're also playing for a $25 gift certificate for Envy Salon and Spa, full service unisex salon in downtown St. Clairsville. If you've got a business in downtown St. Clairsville, you know it is top quality. The 10th caller wins a $25 gift certificate. The 10th caller, call right now. Back with Pat Mcgeehan, again, a very special guest, a good friend of the show, terrific guy, principled beyond belief. So, Pat, where do we go from here? When you've got a legislature, the West Virginia Legislature, that is willing to castrate itself, allowing the governor to keep doing whatever he darn well pleases without any science or math backing up his edicts, where do we go from here, Pat?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a good question. So the amendment that I offered, it was a close vote. I think the vote was 47 in favor and 51 against. So 4 votes there. So a couple people presumably flipped, then it goes the other way. So I think at least, you know, the debate was had transparently in public, and it started drawing attention to the issue that, hey, you can't just give a pass to the executive branch right now. You know, we have to deal with this because this establishes a precedent for the future. By the way, it's a dangerous precedent, you know, to allow that much power to be concentrated in the hands of so few. So now it goes over to the state senate, and yeah, it's up to them. I mean, they may choose to try to offer a similar amendment and try to rectify the bill in their chamber.
Pat,
and then if that was to be the case, then it would come back to us. And it's going to be, you know, it's going to be a process. I'm not very optimistic that the right thing will prevail in the end, unfortunately. But I'll do everything within my power to ensure that it does, because I think at least everyone should be able to agree that there should be a proper check and balance system in place.
Yeah, no question.
So if you know, one person is going to have all these powers for a year now, and essentially declare that they can have these kind of powers for, as long as they want at their discretion, then there at least should be a check to that. The legislature should have some say and should at least be able to approve or deny things that are happening that may not be beneficial to the citizens of the state. So I think that's reasonable. I don't understand why people would go off the rails and think that it was just something that's radical that's being done, because I think what's truly been radical is we've all seen this past year, and the amount of political power that has just been wielded left and right, just arbitrarily. And remember, the founding fathers of this country were always scared of arbitrary political power.
Yep.
Meaning there, isn't a real rule of law.
Yep.
It's just by decree. The law is whatever I say it is.
Yep.
Instantaneous.
Pat, one other thing. We're running short on time, and I want to make sure that we also address the other big issue that you've been so wonderful on, and that is the National Guard. A lot of people don't realize the federal government has effectively been drafting state National Guards, sending them off to war all over the place, and now National Guard troops in D.C. And you tried to change that in West Virginia. Again, for shame on the state government for prohibiting you from doing that. But question number one, do you know if any of the West Virginia National Guard troops are in D.C. right now guarding the White House against the citizens?
I'm not sure about right now. I can't say definitively right now if there are. I know there were. It was reported in the press that there were National Guardsmen from West Virginia that were sent to D.C. I believe about 500 of them initially. So I don't know if they've returned yet or not. I've just been busy. I haven't been able to look into it. But, politicizing the National Guard. I mean, West Virginia, the National Guard is for the use at home here, domestically. And, a lot of them partake in helping out with COVID-19 duty, helping pass out the vaccine, whatever your thoughts are on that. They're at least used to deal with emergencies here on the home front. If there's a flood, if there's a tornado, all sorts of other different emergencies. That's what the National Guard is primarily supposed to be used for.
Yeah, very quickly, you tried to
send overseas into some foreign war without a declaration of war by the Congress.
Yeah, and that didn't work either. But God bless you for trying. The more that you try to instill some sort of principles in our state government, and you get to see just how corrupt all of this really is. It is rotten to the core. Pat, we're almost out of time, but I always give my guests the last word. I want you to speak about whatever you wish to, including mentioning your book so that people could buy it, because not only a great representative, you're a great author as well. Very cerebral, very principled. So you got about a minute to speak directly with all of our listeners and Facebook friends. Then at 8:30, the Belmont Zone, big breaking news about a multi-million-dollar Belmont Boondoggle that the taxpayers will be paying for the next 30 years. So Pat Mcgeehan, thank you for being such a great friend of the show. And my microphone is yours. You got about a minute. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, okay. I don't know, this entire process for the past week or so has brought up this philosophical question that goes back 2,000 years on whether it's better just to seem like a good person or to be a good person. And I've just noticed that there seems to be a lot more politicians in Charleston that want to just appear to be acting like they're a good person, and it's really disappointing. I just think it's always better to try to, take your oath of office very seriously, regardless of the consequences. And some people, I think, just want to give the appearance or the illusion that they're taking it seriously. So that's just unfortunate. So anyway, I appreciate you having me on, Dimitri.
Your book.
God bless you. God bless your show.
Plug your book. Plug your book. Your book.
Yeah, I wrote a book called Stoicism in the State House that was fairly successful. So if anyone's interested in that, they can check it out.
Okay, Pat, I'm trying to help you. You make it very difficult. You really do. You really do. What's the name of that book again, please, Pat Mcgeehan? What's the name of that book again?
It's called Stoicism in the State House, an old philosophy serving a new idea.
And it's available on Amazon and great bookstores everywhere, and it's a great read. Isn't that right, Pat Mcgeehan?
Yes.
Yes.
I've been told it is. So, I appreciate it. Thanks so much, Dimitri.
All right. Thank you.
Okay?
Thank you, Pat. Pat Mcgeehan. The guy's too honest. That's part of his problem. He's just too honest. I'm trying to help the guy sell his book. The guy, he's just.
You should be like, yeah, my book's the best in the world.
It is. It is. It is. When it comes to Stoicism in the State House, it is the best in the world. All right. We've got coming up in about a minute the Belmont Zone, and we'll be breaking a big story. We are titling the story. It's a whole half hour on this one story. We've got the drawings, we've got the documents, we've got the contracts, we've got the pictures, and we are naming this Running on Empty. And it is a multi-million-dollar Belmont Boondoggle. The taxpayers are going to be on the hook for this for the next 30 years, 3 decades, 30 years. That is not an exaggeration. We've got the documents. And on the Facebook side, you'll be seeing all of it. You won't even be seeing me hardly at all on the Facebook side because we have so many pictures of this story that we want to share with you. So if you know anybody, Belmont County, St. Clairsville, who is concerned about this, and you had damn well better be, let me tell you, now's the time to get in touch with them and have them watch this and also share this everywhere. If you want to know what's really going on, you keep it right here. 106.3 The River, River Talk 1430, 100.9 FM, and Alexa, open River Talk.
Here's your River Talk news and sports.
He's a great guy. He's just a great guy, but he's too honest. He's just too honest. Just will not toot his own horn. And let's see here. Okay, we got the Belmont Zone here.
Giveaway.
Sorry?
So for the giveaway, just
okay. We'll do it next time. We'll do it later.
Just do it like next show.
Sure.
Like,
that's done.
Don't want to take time out of this.
Done. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Big segment.
Yeah. No question. No question. No question. So we're running short on time, so I can't give away this stuff. But Envy Salon and Spa is terrific. St. C, Main Street. So you know it's good quality. It's great quality actually. So we will go from there. So let me just see where we are here with this. Just bear with me. Okay. That's coming up. How are we doing on time here for the Belmont Zone?
News has about 50 seconds.
Okay.
And go into the weather about 30
40
seconds.
All right, that's fine. Okay. On the radio side, they're going to hear part of Jackson Brown's song, Running on Empty. Now, we can't play it on the Facebook side for you because of royalty issues, because Facebook is, well, Facebook. But on the radio side, that's what they're going to hear. That is the theme of this big breaking story that we have for you, Running on Empty, and it'll be the entire Belmont Zone today. And it's just, and I've got all the documents, not even documents here. We have them already as slides or pictures that we're going to show you on the Facebook side. But this is from one of my sources backing up everything that I'm saying. And I'll be reading some of this. And as you hear this, you're going to go, this can't be for real. Yeah, it's for real. It really is for real. I'm going to put the slide back up here. I keep calling it slide, but whatever. The Belmont Zone. And then we'll get to Running on Empty. So if you know anybody who cares about what's left of good government in Belmont County and cares about the taxpayers, real good idea to get in touch with them right now and also to share this everywhere, especially any kind of Belmont County Facebook group. This is something that people need to hear about. And the local government officials, it's either staggering incompetence or staggering corruption. Here we go. Here we go. Dimitri, live and dangerously local. It is the Belmont Zone, a very special edition of the Belmont Zone. We're breaking a big story. The entire half hour is dedicated to this one story that we have called Running on Empty. Running on Empty. Long story short, and I'll give you all the details here, but long story short, here it is. The previous St. Clairsville city government, not the current administration, not Mayor Thalman, but the previous administration, Mayor Terry Pugh, or as I call him, Terry P.U., along with his good buddy from New Philly, and that is Jim Zuckel, thought it was a good idea to build a water tank in St. Clairsville, because someday maybe there might be some more development there right by that bridge to nowhere that goes across the interstate and off to Rural King. So they built this monstrosity, this water tank. But it's not like the regular water tanks that we're aware of, that we see on top of hills, that are operated essentially without, I'm cutting corners here, but essentially operated by gravity, that the gravity takes a lot of the pressure off of moving the water around and it makes it efficient. Long story short, this water tank doesn't operate on gravity. It's at ground level. And there's part of the very, very big problem. This water tank cost over $2 million, in over $2 million. And ladies and gentlemen, it is useless. And it's not my opinion. It is a fact. I have the sources who have told me this, who have even provided the narrative, which I am going to be sharing with you. And we also have the drawings and the documents and the contract. Oh, wait till you hear about the contract and the amount of money that the people are going to be on the hook for in St. C regarding this utterly useless running on empty tank. It's going to be for 30 years, for 3 decades. So where is this tank? This useless, utterly useless tank that former Mayor Terry Pugh and Jim Zuckel, his good old boy from New Philly, where is this thing? Can we see it? Oh yeah, actually you can see it. Here's what I want you to do if you want. And I really think you need to see this to understand the scope of this monstrosity. If you're in St. Clairsville and you're on Main Street and you're heading east, you're going now on East Lawn, where all the really nice houses are, Charlie Wilson's old house and everything else there. And at the new intersection, before you go up the hill to Porter Fields and then to Sheets, at that new intersection, a traffic light and all that, you make a right turn and you're heading toward essentially the road to nowhere, the bridge to nowhere that eventually will take you to Rural King. But don't go there. When you make that right turn, you're now on the new road, which looks very nice, no traffic. And then you go to make the next right turn, which is Dorothy Place or something. It's the only right turn you can really make on a street. And that's where the new senior citizen assisted living facility is, Senior Suites at St. Clair Commons. Now, it's a very nice place. Okay, fine. Go there, and at the end of the driveway, it's simply a turnaround. You can actually leave your car there. This is what I did a couple of weeks ago. Leave your car there, and you will see a gravel road. Now, right now, the gravel road has snow and ice on it, so you're going to need your boots, which is what I did. And you walk up the gravel road, not very far. It's a very, very short walk. And you will come to the water tank, the building that houses the pumps, and the building that houses the generator that runs the pumps. It is at ground level. And you know it's the monstrosity, the Belmont Boondoggle, because it has a St. C, the St. Clairsville area, Richland Township School District logo, that if you're looking very, very carefully as you're driving on I-70, you might catch a glimpse of it for half of a second. When you see this ugly gray concrete water tank with the St. C logo, That's what we're talking about. Your tax dollars, more than $2 million for this thing. And oh, by the way, did I mention it doesn't work? It doesn't work. There's no gravity to help feed it like you see with all the other water towers, because they built this at ground level. Now, why would they do anything that stupid? Well, we are talking about the previous administration. We are talking about the former mayor, Terry P.U., and his right-hand man from New Philly, Jim Zuckel. And what I like to think of them as New Philly's Dumb and Dumber. And I don't know who's dumb and I don't know who's dumber, but you are looking at the former mayor and the former services director, Zuckel. These are the people. This is important. This has nothing to do with the current administration. I actually feel terrible about what Mayor Thalman has to put up with now with this and her administration. It's not their fault. There are city council members who actually signed off on this thing, who actually said, oh yeah, this is a good idea, even though it doesn't seem to make any real sense. But now Mayor Thalman, who's actually doing a very good job, and she has a lovely dog, Sammy. Have you seen her collie, Sammy? It's a great dog. It's a great dog. It's a great dog.
I haven't, no.
Oh, it's a great dog. And her administration, they have to deal with this thing now. And I don't see any options. I really don't. It's really, really bad stuff. Now, on the Facebook side, I am going to now start showing some of the documents that we got. The company that built this thing, the civil engineers, W.E. Quicksall, Quicksall, and Associates Civil Engineers. Guess where they're from? I'll give you one hint. Yeah. New Philly. That's where they're from. Okay, let me go over some of the costs here for you. These are all the costs. The tank cost total $2,150,994.30. So for the sake of discussion, let's call it $2,151,000. They had a couple of grants totaling $600, and the loan was for 1.1 million. And again, I'm rounding off here, but that's essentially what we're talking about. The tank was designed as a ground-mounted tank. Why? Why not elevated? Because elevated, of course, would have made sense. Well, it wasn't elevated because they had some complaints from the neighbors at the site or around the site. They thought it was going to look ugly if it was not a ground-level tank. But you need the gravity in order to make this thing work. So it was as simple as they just didn't want to face any complaints from some of the people there, who obviously have got a lot of money in that part of town, who just didn't want the gravity-fed tank. So they're stuck with this running on empty tank that needs a pump station, that needs a generator, and no gravity to help it. This is important, this idea of gravity. Now, if this tank actually worked, if they could pump all the water in and then send it back out to the people in that part of town in St. Clairsville, here's what would happen. In fact, I've got the thing here somewhere. Just bear with me here. Where does it say about the east end? Yeah, if they fill this tank running on empty, if they fill this tank, it would, and I know this sounds counterintuitive, but here's what would happen. If they filled the tank with water, it would suck all the water out of the east end of St. Clairsville. I know it sounds counterintuitive, but if they actually filled up this water tank, which again should be filled up, you would think, if it's like a conventional one, if this one is filled up, it would take all the water out of the east end. Did I mention this tank is cost taxpayers $2,151,000, and it gets a lot worse. Now you might be thinking to yourself, how in God's name could this be? Surely they had some studies to understand what this is all about and putting it at ground level and all that. Well, funny thing about that, it says here with my notes, a hydraulic study of the existing water distribution system was not completed because it would cost too much money to do. This is from my source, and these are rock solid sources that I have. A hydraulic study of the existing water distribution system was not completed. It would cost too much money. How much money, you ask? It's a very good question. Only $25,000. So try to understand what I just said here. This useless, empty tank, thanks to former Mayor Terry Pugh, Jim Zuckel, and some members who I think are still on city council, cost $2,151,000, but spending $25,000 to determine if it was needed and useful, oh, well, that was too much money. This is beyond insane. You can't fill it up, because if you do, it's going to suck all the water out of the east end. This is mind-boggling, but it gets a lot worse. On the Facebook side, I'm showing some of the designs. You've got Terry Pugh and Jim Zuckel signing off on this thing. It's right by the senior suites at St. Clair Commons. And what do you do with a water tank that is now utterly useless, that you actually cannot fill up? Because if you fill it up, it's going to suck all the water out of the east end. It's insane. You would think that the solution, or at least temporary solution, would be, well, why not just shut it down? Turn off the pumps so that you could at least save the wear and tear on the pumps and save on the electricity, because all they're doing right now is pumping in a tiny little bit of water to say that the tank is still functioning, that it's still on life support, that it's not dead. Again, you might be thinking, well, why would they do that? Why not just shut it down and turn off the tap, and then, then we're at least done with it, so we don't have any more maintenance issues with this thing. We'll just leave the water in there or whatever. Well, you can't just leave the water in there, because you got to keep it fresh. You got to keep it circulating. The chlorine eventually will not work. You don't want to have an algae bloom in there and other horrible things. But they cannot drain it and shut it off, because then they risk even greater costs to the people of St. Clairsville. I know it sounds insane, but wait till you hear about that. That is coming up next. If you want to know what's really going on, and believe me, you haven't the worst of this. You have not heard the worst of this. You got to keep it right here. Who else is going to give you this information? 106.3 The River, 1430 AM, 100.9 FM, and Alexa, open River Talk. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. You haven't even heard the worst of it yet. You really haven't.
I'm going to make this one a quick break.
Please, yeah. Yeah.
$15 seconds.
Okay.
Ready?
Yep. Dimitri, live and dangerously local, the Belmont Zone. We're breaking a big story, and we are titling it Running on Empty. A water tank, ground level water tank that is utterly useless, and in some ways even worse than useless, in St. Clairsville. And they still have water running into this thing, but if you filled it up with water, then all the water from the east end of the city would be sucked out. It would be a nightmare. The design of this thing is that darn bad. So why are they continuing to pour water, a little bit of water, into this thing? Why do they keep the pumps going? Why do they keep using electricity? At least shut it off, drain the water, and be done with it. That is a great question. Part of the financing with this tank, this water tank from, again, the previous administration. We're talking about former Mayor Terry Pugh and Jim Zuckel and some of the city council members. Jim Zuckel from New Philly, of course. Part of the funding, most of it was, of course, a loan. And the people of St. Clairsville are going to be paying on this thing for 30 years. I'll give you the details. But part of it was also grants, roughly $600,000 worth of grants. And the grant was for a water tank. For a water tank. If they shut down this useless water tank and they turn off the pumps and turn off the electricity and no more water is going into this and they cap it off, now they run the risk of having to pay back those $600,000 worth of grants. Remember, the grants were for St. Clairsville. Oh, you need a water tank? Well, okay, fine. We'll give you these grants. You don't have to pay them back, but you need a water tank? Fine. We can help you build a water tank. If St. Clairsville now essentially says this water tank is useless, which, by the way, it is, but if they turn it off, now they run the very real risk of having these different state entities saying, hey, we gave you grants for $600,000 for a water tank, and now you're shutting it off. It doesn't work or whatever. We want our money back. So let's get to the finances. The poor citizens of St. Clairsville, and I feel so sorry for them and for Mayor Thalman and her administration, which had nothing to do with this. For the next 30 years, the citizens of St. Clairsville, I hope you're sitting down, the citizens of St. Clairsville are going to have to pay $82,709.55 each year for the next 20 years. That would be 2 decades. But it gets worse. Then they're going to have to pay the citizens of St. Clairsville $13,333.33 for the next 10 years after that. So in other words, they are going to be paying for this utterly useless water tank for 30 years. And they can't risk shutting it off, because if they do, then adding insult to injury, the city of St. Clairsville might have to also come up with the $600,000 in grants that they got for this useless water tank. So now I hope you understand why the title of this remarkably horrible Belmont Boondoggle is running on empty. They're still running the water tank. Very little water going in and out, but they are still running it, spending all of this money on electricity, all of the wear and tear on the pumps, because it has to keep running on empty, or else they risk having to pay back the $600,000 in grants. And they're still going to have to pay for the next 30 years on the loan. Can you imagine what the poor Mayor Thalman, who's doing a very good job, by the way, could do with $82,709.55 a year? How many roads she could pave? How much, 101 different things that St. Clairsville could have. But for the next 30 years, you're going to be paying off this thing. 20 years at $82,709, then 10 years after that, $13,333 for a water tank that does not work. But they got to keep it running, or else they also are going to have to pay back the $600,000 in grants. How much money did this company, Quicksol from New Philly, make off of this boondoggle? $231,500. Did I mention they're from New Philly? you know, where Jim Zuckel's from, where his power base is. $231,500 for a water tank that does not work. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, well, at least you might be able to sue Quicksall and get that $2 million some odd back. No, you would be wrong. I've got the documents of actually the contract, and for our Facebook friends, I highlighted this. It's section H, as in, oh hell. To the fullest extent permitted by law, owner and engineer waiver against each other and others, employees, officers, blah, 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 blah. Okay, fine. Here's the key point here. Consequential damages arising or resulting from in any way related to this agreement or the project, and agreed that the engineer's total liability, listen to this, the engineer's Quicksall, you know, from New Philly, the engineer's total liability to owner, which would be you, the citizens, will be limited to $100,000 or the total amount of compensation received by the engineer, whichever is greater. In other words, if St. Clairsville wanted to sue Quicksall, the most they could get back is what Quicksall made, which is $231,500. But in order to do that, St. Clairsville is going to have to incur a lot of expenses for lawyers and engineer studies and everything else. So even if they won in court, how much of that $231,500 could they get back? If anything. They're caught between a rock and a hard place. It is simply mind-boggling how this has happened. But the former mayor, Terry Pugh, and the PU administration, they were in love with this Jim Zuckel, this guy from New Philly. I can imagine Terry Pugh saying, but Jim Zuckel says that's how they build water tanks in New Philly, and everything they do in New Philly is so much better than St. Clairsville. Just ask Terry Pugh. In fact, it's a wonder why Terry Pugh hasn't moved to New Philly, considering how much he loves New Philly. By the way, all those trees that were scalped on Main Street, a New Philly company. Thank you, Jim Zuckel. They've destroyed those trees. It is mind-boggling. It is mind-boggling. I can imagine Jim Zuckel actually thinking to himself, how's Terry's water tank going to work? I could actually see that. But don't you dare criticize them. Don't you dare criticize them. Because Jim Zuckel has competence. After all, he's from New Philly. And you know, New Philly, they always do everything just right there. So there you have it. In a nutshell, the major points. They could have done a hydraulic study for just $25,000, and they would have figured out this thing ain't going to work. You've got a virtually empty tank, water tank. And you can actually walk there and see it. I did it. It's not hard. I want you to do this. For $2,151,000 that has to stay running on empty, or else you're also going to have to pay back $600,000 in grants. The citizens of St. Clairsville are going to be paying for this thing for 30 effing years, 3 decades. You can't get your money back from Quicksall, you know, they're from New Philly, because the most you can get back is their fee, which is roughly $250,000. But in order to do that, you're going to have to spend a fortune. At the end of the day, you may not get anything back. How their legal department, St. Clairsville Legal Department, allowed this contract to be signed is beyond my comprehension. How the city council members, some of them, not all, but some of them who are still on city council agreed to this thing is beyond my comprehension. It's mind-boggling. It's utterly mind-boggling. You have no legal options that I'm aware of, unless somehow Miser and Miser, which had been the legal department for the city, unless they didn't warn the people of St. Clairsville, you can't sign this contract because the only thing you can do is get some of their money back. They wouldn't spend $25,000 on a hydraulic study, which would have, I believe, would have shown everyone this thing doesn't work. Again, I stress this is not the current administration. These poor people, I actually feel very sorry for Mayor Thalman because she has done a good job, and now she's stuck with this thing because of Terry Pugh, who really should be living in New Philly if you want to know the honest to God's truth. And some of these city council members who still are backing this utterly useless piece of crap for $2.151 million. It's running on empty, and some city council members still think this is a good idea. I'm not making this up. You need to start talking with them. You need to start talking with Terry Pugh. You need to start everybody, let them know what exactly is going on. The numbers speak for themselves. $82,709.55 a year for the next 20 years. St. Clairsville, listen to these numbers. Then $13,333 for the next 10 years, for 3 decades. And they've got to keep it running, even though everyone knows it's running on empty, or else they're going to have to pay back also possibly the $600,000 in grants. And you can thank New Philly's dynamic duo, Dumb and Dumber, Zuckel and Pugh. And yes, some city council members who are still there, still backing this thing. You need to hold them accountable. You really need to hold them accountable. So there it is. Running on empty. St. Clairsville, I feel so sorry for you. I really, honest to God, do. This is an effing disgrace. 30 years, you're going to be paying for this. 30 years. It doesn't work. If you want to know what's really going on, you keep it right here. 106.3 The River, River Talk 1430, 100.9 FM, and Alexa, open River Talk. All right, folks. There it is. Hopefully the local media will finally start covering this thing. But if, there's only one place on earth you're going to get this information. That's me. That's right here. Please share this. Please get the word out. And thank you again for everything. Thank our guests, and have a great day. Got to get out of here. But thank you so much. St. C, I feel so sorry for Mayor Thalman. She's doing a great job. She really is. This is a friggin' nightmare. 30-year nightmare. 30-year. Thank you, Terry. Thank you, Zuckel. Thank you.